Welcome to another edition of Two Sites Unite. I am George Phillips with oilpressure.com.
And I am Paul Dalby with fieldof33.com.
Okay. As I told John last week when he and I did our little deal live out in my backyard, it's the month of May.
It is officially the month of May.
And the month of May actually gets going in earnest this weekend.
That's right. That's right. Another few days.
You're not going to the Grand Prix, are you?
As of right now, not planning on it. No. Because I'm sure you've been following my big brick collection that I am acquiring, which I'm sure you are familiar with that.
Big Bird.
Bricks.
Bricks. Yes. I thought you said Big Bird collection.
That's right. So for those who aren't familiar, my wife and I are blowing up our backyard and redoing
and your
patio. And that too. Yeah, definitely blowing that up. So redoing our patio, and in our patio, I am building a yard of brick in our patio. So my goal is to have all of the bricks in this yard be of the types that are in the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and to have all of the types of bricks that are thus far known to have existed in the speedway. So
I'll interrupt you, which I will admit, until you started this whole deal, I did not realize that there were 5 different types of brick.
There are 13 different types of bricks.
Really?
There are. That's right. And so I'm shooting for 11 of them, because 2 of them are kind of dull, just plain sided ones, so they don't add any character, which means there's 11 left. And I got my 10th different type in the mail just within the last hour or so.
What, like 8 brick?
Well, I bought 3 of them. Yeah.
Okay. But that was cheap in mail.
Well, you find the right sort of buyer on eBay, and they'll use a flat rate box. So whether you ship 1 or 10, so long as it fits in the box, I think it was $20 to ship, so it wasn't too bad. But yeah, I'm up to now, I think I'm up to about 125 total bricks. I think I need about 170. There is 1 type that I still have left to acquire. And then I got a lead this afternoon on a gentleman here not too far from me, actually, who is selling a large stock of bricks, and a lot of those are Culvers. So I think I may see the finish line. So I didn't realize how bad of a pun that was until that just came out of my mouth. But the finish line is in sight, both metaphorically and quasi-literally.
Okay, well, I'm sure you will post many pictures of it when it's done.
I will. You can guarantee it. Guarantee it. That's not what we're here to talk about, though.
No. And I think you are planning on going to qualifying weekend. Will you be able to bop over for any days of practice during the week?
We will be there Friday, we being my son and I. I don't think my schedule will probably allow me to be there earlier in the week. I have to be gone the entire week between qualifying and race day. From Monday to Thursday, I have a work trip, so I can't afford to be gone too much the week before as well.
Well,
yes, I know what you're going to say.
I'm doing what I did last year. I mean, it's almost carbon copy, except Susan and I going up for the Grand Prix. We'll go up Friday morning, and then we'll drive back leisurely on Sunday, since the race is on Saturday, and I will be home Sunday afternoon and all day Monday to mow my yard and do laundry, and then Tuesday morning I'm getting up early by myself and driving back up there to spend the entire week of practice. And then Susan is going to fly up on Thursday night. Last year she flew up on Friday night, and we got a very good cheap rate on Southwest. And I think she has to go to, I think from Nashville she goes to Austin, Texas to change planes, and then she'll get into Indianapolis though about but she gets in Indianapolis about 9 o'clock Thursday night.
That is an odd connection.
Yep. But
Yeah.
but the price worked out. So
Well, there you go.
that's what I was caring about.
Sure.
So,
Understandable.
but so, and then as the calendar works out, we will be celebrating our 12th wedding anniversary on Saturday night of qualifying weekend.
That is hard to believe. 12 years.
Yeah. So and then the only part of that I'm not looking forward to is driving back late Sunday night. That drive back home after qualifications kills me because it's usually about midnight, but by the time we get home, because
Yeah.
qualifying, I haven't looked at the schedule, but in the past it has ended at six-ish.
Ooh, I don't think that's
I
I
haven't looked at the schedule.
I haven't either. And if I wasn't using my phone right now for this, I would look it up. But I thought the last couple of years, Sunday wrapped up around 3 o'clock or so.
Yeah, I think you're right. Which may help. I don't know. What? Why do you look so surprised?
I just, it still shocks me to never hear those words come out of your mouth. I still
Well,
get taken aback.
I'm being civil since this is being taped. But I love there. I mean, there's something very special. I wish Susan would come up, but oddly enough, she's not excited about going and spending almost an entire week up in Indianapolis.
Don't understand why not.
Don't either, but she doesn't want to do that. But I wish she would, but she has other things to do. But she will be up there on Fast Friday, which
Well, that's good. Good for her.
last year I think she flew in on Friday night. So, but then what? Thursday night after we get back, Thursday night we're going to drive up after I get off work and check in late, and then that'll start our race weekend.
There you go. Very well. Well, Jackson will be joining me for both weekends again. Actually, he didn't join me last year for qualifying weekend, so I'll be doing qualifying weekend with him this year, and then race weekend for the third year in a row. I'll get to spend with my son, so very much looking forward to that.
That's good. But you know what we did last night? We watched from start to finish the entire broadcast of last year's race. And if you had asked me if I had seen it, I'd say, of course I did. We watched it a couple of nights after we got home. No, we didn't. I've never seen the broadcast. It dawned on me fairly early on that I had never gone back and watched the broadcast. A lot of things struck me that, because when you think back to last year's race, what's the first thing you think of? And probably the only thing you think of?
I think of the Kirkwood and Rosenquist crash myself.
I think of 3 red flags in the final 14 laps.
Or that. That's what I meant.
And that it infuriated me at the time, and last night I got mad all over again. But I hope they don't do that again. They manufactured a finish. They manufactured drama, and they got very lucky that there were no accidents caused by these, especially that one race on that one lap sprint.
Yeah. I probably should be madder about that whole thing than I really am. I don't have a problem with them using a red flag. I don't like it with 1 or 2 laps to go. I just wish they would, and I know they won't because they say there's too many things that can play into the decision, but I wish they had a doer, how do I say this without not sounding crass? I wish they would put a limit on how late they will.
All or nothing.
All or nothing. Yes, that would be better, I suppose. Is that lap 196? Is it lap 197? To me, I don't want to see a red flag after lap 196, quite honestly.
Yeah.
I think you need at least a lap to if not 2 laps to get restarted. And I think you should have 2 laps of green flags. There's 4 laps minimum. That to me is where I think you can draw that line. I do agree with you that they got lucky last year. And quite honestly, what is to keep Marcus Ericsson from just jumping that restart and getting a massive lead? What are they going to do? I mean, he could have taken off, and so long as he didn't pull a Scott Goodyear, that race could have been over.
Well, actually, I think Hinch and Townsend Bell, while they were sitting there waiting for that last restart, they even suggested that. And they said, what are they going to do? They're going to wave it off? Well, so it'll be a yellow flag. And they come around and it's the yellow flag. I mean, then there's the checkered flag. He didn't do that. Watching that, and I do suggest you go back and watch that. That was actually a much better race in the second half than I really remembered it being.
Oh yeah.
The first half was kind of processional. Up until about lap 90 when VK took out Palou in the pits.
Was it that late? I didn't realize it was that
late. Actually, it was lap 93.
Okay.
And Palou worked his way all the way back up to finishing 4th. In 107 laps.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. To me, and I assume we'll touch on this, but I don't see how Palou isn't your front runner for winning this year. Quite honestly, I think he's shown the last couple of years that he's fast. He's in excellent equipment. Ganassi's going to be a contender again. I think that's where you start. But getting back to the topic at hand, it was a good race. That second half, obviously Newgarden really wasn't even around that much. Where did he start? About 17?
17th, I believe.
Yeah, and I don't think he may have been in the top 10 by the 100 lap mark, but I don't think he really became a contender until fairly late in that race.
I think it was around lap 170, 175.
Yeah.
Suddenly he was 4th.
Right. But you had Ericsson, who was strong again. Kirkwood, Rosenquist was very strong. Pato was very strong. You had a lot of these guys who the difference now is you have a lot of guys that are in contention, but the fact that nobody ever wants to lead anymore, other than go back to maybe 2019 with Simon Pagenaud, who just said, screw it, I'm just running away with this. Nobody really wants to lead through most of the duration of the race. So when you get to those last 10 and 20 laps, I don't know that we know anymore who really has what, who has the best car until it's really time to throw down. And I often wonder, do the drivers and teams even know who has the best car? Because, let's say Rossi is driving around at 85% and he's probably thinking, hey, I've got a lot left in the bag. But if everyone else is driving around at 85%, it really makes for chaos at the end when everyone decides, okay, now it's time to go. And they all start to go at once.
Yeah.
It really throws a lot of, not chaos, but uncertainty, I guess, into the mix. It's not like the days where Rick Mears was winning by 2 laps anymore. And by the 150th lap, you knew that so long as he didn't break down, he was going to win. We are well past those days.
One thing that struck me last night, and I don't know how recent this is, but I hope that doesn't show up on the recording up. We switched from Skype to Zoom here, and I'm not sure that I like it, but
change is bad.
Change is bad. But anyway, I don't know if this, I just noticed it last night. There's a trend, it seems like, or at least in last night's race, or the 2023 race, when the whole string of cars comes off of turn 2, they immediately go to the white line, almost to the grass.
Mm-hmm.
And that did not used to be the case. They would kind of stay in the middle of the track. And I don't think they do that on the front straightaway, maybe because there's a wall there, the pit wall, but I don't recall them doing that. If you go back and watch several years ago, on the backstretch, cars are they're staying right in the center of the track. When did this start?
I don't know. I don't know, but I don't like it. And it's not that I don't like it because they didn't used to do it. What I hate, and I think we're seeing more and more and more of it, and I think whoever it is, Kyle Novak or the stewards or somebody needs to put their foot down, is the leading car is taking away that inside line, which, okay, fine, you can do that. I don't care if you want to do that coming off of turn 2 or turn 4, but then the second place car darts to the outside to get the normal line, if you will, into turn 1 or 3. And then the lead car comes back up to the outside to get on that line at the last moment to get that entry as well. To me, I think once the driver commits to the inside, I think they need to stay there. You can't take away the inside and the outside on a 50-foot straightaway. It's just, I do not like that.
Now, one thing, of course, I'm not a driver. I don't know the correct lines and what, losing momentum. But to me, on that last lap, when Ericsson was in the lead and coming off of 2, Ericsson did that. He darted down to the inside. Well, Newgarden stayed up high.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ericsson came back. Well, that's about the time that Newgarden got him.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, had he not darted down there and wasted time doing that and coming back up, would Newgarden have passed him?
I don't know. I wondered that on the last lap. Is that, I guess the draft is that strong, but if Newgarden wanted to go down and basically go down into Kevin Kogan land down there of coming off of turn 4, if Ericsson would have just stayed on the line, would he have gained on him? I mean, it's a shorter route, that's for sure. I don't know. I don't know how strong that draft is, but I'm glad
Anyway,
they're hopefully eliminating that stupid move this year.
And of course, we were there, obviously, and we saw it in person, but I was still reminded of what a strong drive Ferrucci had last year. And I don't mean at the end. He was there. He was in the top 5 all day long.
Yeah. 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 I mean, Foyt has been good at Indianapolis last number of years. What was 2018 that Kanaan was leading the good portion? I don't know if he was leading a good portion of the first half of the race, but was in the top 3 for most of it, and then had that flat tire at around halfway point. But they've had strong runs, and Ferrucci himself has had good runs, whether he was at Coyne or Foyt or Rahal. That's not right. Who did he?
He didn't. I don't think he drove for Rahal in the 500.
No, I don't think so either. I don't remember who it was.
I want to say it's just Coyne. I think.
Yeah. Well, anyway, whoever it is, yeah, he's had a great career there, and you put those two together, they know how to run fast. And
so
I wouldn't be shocked if he was in the Fast 9. Well, Foyt put both of their cars in the Fast 9 last year.
Well, Ferrucci qualified 4th.
Ferrucci was 4th, and
Peterson was
Benjamin Peterson.
Was he 12th?
I guess they don't do a Fast 9 anymore. So maybe 11th or 12th.
It's now the Fast 12.
Yeah.
But Peterson was in there, and the Penske cars were not.
They were not. Nope. So no, I won't be surprised to see Peterson. Well, be real surprised to see Peterson run strong. But I will not be surprised to see Ferrucci.
I would not even call Ferrucci a dark horse. I think he's a legitimate contender.
I
I'm not saying
put him
he's
as a
going to
tier
win.
2 contender.
Do what?
He's a tier 2 contender to me. He wouldn't be in my top 5 picks.
I don't know.
I won't be shocked if he wins, but he would not. He's not in my top 5. I'll certainly say that.
Okay. Now you mentioned something about Ganassi being so strong. I've got a theory, especially.
Well, no, hold on. Let me stop you right there because this is a pet peeve. Is this a theory or is this a hypothesis?
I don't know.
If it's your guess, that would be a hypothesis.
No, it's more. This is more of a theory. I
It's
think
been proven as fact. Proven to the point it's accepted as fact.
no. Okay, it's a hypothesis. My God, you're worse than John McClellan.
This is what conversations are like with us. Anyway, your hypothesis. Ganassi.
I'm watching this time because we actually have a time limit on this one. I think that Ganassi, especially for the month of May, might have bitten off more than he can chew. On one hand, he's got Scott Dixon and Palou. But on the other hand, he's got 3 rookies in May.
I don't totally disagree with what you suggest, but I wonder how much this will look like. What would we call it? 2011, 2012 Ganassi, where you had certainly your A team, which at that time would have been Dixon and Franchitti. Then you had your B team, which was Kimball and Ray.
Yeah.
And they may have been racing under the Ganassi banner, but they were not.
Well, they weren't even in the same building.
No.
But that's not the case. That's not the case this time.
Right. But I don't think I mean nothing's really changed that much. So I mean Scott Dixon and Alex Palou can be on cruise control from their last couple of years. I don't think they're going to need a whole lot of assistance.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think it's going to be a case where Dixon and Palou make all boats rise, or is the lowest common denominator, which is probably Kip and Simpson, going to pull the whole team down?
No.
You don't think so?
I do not think so. Nope.
Except for Dixon winning Long Beach, they have not been overly spectacular this short season.
Didn't Palou just absolutely stomp everyone at the exhibition?
That doesn't count. You know, the
sure other people wanted to try to win.
I just got a thing up here asking for more time. We have 10 minutes and 39 seconds left.
That's about all the attention span our viewers can probably stand for this.
They've already turned off by now anyway.
Probably because you don't know the difference between a hypothesis and a theory.
Yeah, one time I did, but that was also when I was learning geometry, which I don't use that either.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, I haven't pointed out. Now we may as well go off a tangent of a tangent. My glass for this evening, my Miller Lite, is in a 1953 beer. What would you call this? A mug? It's not a Stein. I'm not sure what this.
It's a Pilsner glass.
Pilsner glass. Thank you. That's what it is. So we pay respect tonight to. I don't know if you can see that or not, but 1953 winner Bill Vukovich, in honor of the very fine article that you wrote a couple days ago. I actually thoroughly enjoyed that. Well done.
Oh, thank you. This one goes all the way up to.
That's your is that your 66?
64.
64. All right. Oh yeah, I bought that one for you, didn't I?
You did? No.
I thought I bought you the 65 one for your first race.
There's a. This is great.
Boy, our viewers are really loving this.
You got me this.
Which one is that?
think it's the same one you're drinking out of. It goes to Bill Vukovich.
Well, it could be 54. Could be 53.
It's 53 Vukovich.
There you go.
But I've got several of these up here, but they're all buried under mounds of lanyards and credentials.
Mm. All right. Well, as much fun as this discussion is that I derailed us on, we should probably get down to the business of previewing the month here quickly before we turn everyone off. So let me ask you two questions. Who is your poll winner? And will we see a track record this year?
No to the second question.
Okay.
And I don't know who the poll winner is. I'm starting to form a race winner prediction.
Okay.
I couldn't even begin to guess the poll winner. I'm starting to like Will Power for the race. Will Power has shown me his wife was ill, especially the first part of last year, but she was still ill throughout the whole season last year. That's behind them now, and he was at the press conference at Barber. He was dialed in. I mean, you could tell he was just focused. He's laser focused. I think he is. He knows time's running out on his career, and I think that he's going to go out a two-time winner. And this is the year.
Okay. Well, I would say that's a tier 1 pick for me. Now, that might be about a tier 1.5, but okay.
Now, last week when John and I did our little deal here, I said Scott Dixon because I hadn't really thought about it, and I was just thinking, Scott Dixon. I mean, all conversations have to start with Scott Dixon, and it is. I don't know if the word criminal is right, but it's certainly unfair or unjust or whatever that as much as that man has done in his career to have won it only once. Now, Mario Andretti won it only once.
Right.
Three drivers only won it one time, Barnelli Jones. But you would think that Scott Dixon would have more than one Indianapolis 500 victory, and that was what, 18 years ago?
16.
16, yeah, you're right. Can't do math.
Yeah. It is surprising. Yeah. No, I agree that, I think Power, I hadn't thought about Power, but I think he's a good, certainly not a dark horse, but I guess I wouldn't have thought of him necessarily to be in my top picks, but I do think you're right. I think he is hungry for that. He's relaxed.
He's one point out of the championship.
Right. It kind of helps with the other Penske's getting disqualified.
Well, he didn't push the button.
He didn't push the button. You're right. And I wonder how much the fact that he hasn't had to answer a lot of those questions that his teammates have, how much has that benefited him to stay out of that limelight that I don't think he seeks to be in? Certainly not that limelight, or any limelight really do I think Power really desires. So while the chaos is kind of surrounding him, he hasn't gotten caught up in it. So that has allowed him to stay focused.
4.5 minutes, by the way.
All right. No, I think I won't be surprised to see a Colton Herta resurgence. I wouldn't even say resurgence. He hasn't ever really run that strong. I think he's going to figure this out sooner rather than later, because Kirkwood had a very good year last year. Yeah. Ericsson is within, a couple hundredths of a second of being a back-to-back winner. Both of them know what they're doing. I think Herta is going to be strong. I will not be surprised if he finds his way, but as I said earlier, I think you're your top of the list, I think, has got to go through Alex Palou. I really do. I just don't see, if he can avoid the mistakes, both his own and those of others. I just think he's that good right now. And Ganassi has been, when it comes to speed, I feel like they've been untouchable the last couple of years. It's just been flukes that have taken them out, whether it's been, you know, Dixon getting run out of fuel a couple of years ago, or the pit speed penalty, or Palou, as you mentioned earlier, getting taken out by VK. Yeah.
I just don't think you can discount the fact that Kevin Simpson, Marcus Armstrong, and Linus Lundqvist. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that their inexperience is going to, I just think it's going to affect the team more than what you think. We'll see.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's just the Nicholas Manassians of back to visit. The ghost of Nicholas Manassian visiting Ganassi Racing.
I will say this. I was impressed with Lundqvist's run at Barber.
Yep. Yeah.
I was real impressed with that. All right. So we're down to 2.5 minutes. Closing thoughts.
Closing thoughts. I think it's going to be a great month. I think there's going to, I would not be shocked. I don't think it's going to happen, but I won't be shocked if we do see a new speed record. Probably the 4-lap record would be the one that we would hit. I don't know that we would get to the 1-lap record, because we were only, about a mile an hour off last year, I think, with Dixon at, Dixon. No. Yeah, Dixon was the pole sitter last year, right? No, Palou was. Sorry, Palou. You know, within about a mile an hour of the record. So I won't be totally shocked if we get there, but I agree. I don't think we probably will. Yeah, if does Dixon have 5 poles now? So he would tie Mears with another pole this year, which is amazing.
I think he has. I think, as I know, Mears has the record at 6.
Yeah, so I think if he ties Mears' record this year, if he can win a race, he probably retires soon as a 2-time winner, all-time lap leader, and tied for the most poles. I don't care if he's got 2 wins or 12. I think he's got a solid case for the best Indianapolis driver ever, and probably the least heralded of them.
All right. Anything else? Because we got a minute to go.
Nope. I'll let you close it out.
All right. Well, Willpower is my pick until I change it. But looking forward to a great month of May. I'm assuming that we will get together at least one night at Dawson's, maybe both.
I'd put the over and under probably at 3.5.